Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm Shayna,
And I'm Sicily.
and we want to officially welcome you to Continuously Refined.
We need like sound effects there.
If you cannot tell, we are over the moon ecstatic to just be recording our first episode.
Yeah, we're so excited, guys. Like, we've been so excited to record this after technical difficulties and just figuring out what even we wanted to say for this. We cannot wait to just start this journey with you guys.
Yeah, we are two college-age girls in our 20s, living life, getting business degrees,
Yeah.
who have a really strong passion for health and wellness and healing our bodies naturally and making us feel like the best version of ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. We both just found ourselves with like passions and solving health and our health issues. And we constantly talk about it between the two of us. So we thought we would start a podcast and start sharing it with you guys.
Exactly. And that kind of brings us to why we wanted to start this podcast. And really, we had noticed that going through our own kind of health issues, we had both resulted to more functional medicine and healing our bodies naturally. I've been going about this for about a year and a little longer for sure.
Yeah, I think around 4 years ago, I started working with a functional medicine doctor just after years of not getting any answers from doctors and from tests and just being like, what is wrong with me? I'm in pain, I'm uncomfortable, and just couldn't figure it out. So for about, I think, 4 years now, I've been gluten and dairy free and just now shifting more towards what Shayna does a lot of working on hormones and detoxifying things in my life and eliminating things.
Exactly. And we had noticed that so many of our friends and family and extended friends were coming to us and asking questions like, hey, I heard you had hormone problems. How are you handling this? How in your busy life as a college student are you able to eat gluten and dairy free? And so both of us had kind of experienced that, helping other people, just like close friends. And we wanted to share our knowledge and passion with you guys and hopefully reach some people and help you guys out along the way.
Yeah, we both struggled so much at the beginning of our journeys because we didn't have a lot of information and couldn't find a lot. And so we just kind of felt like there was a gap in information about how to heal your body holistically and naturally. And we wanted to do that for you guys and for young adult women. And just, we don't have all the answers. We're not doctors, but through this whole journey, we wanted to figure out the information along with you guys. And you guys can continue to walk with us as we continue to figure out more about ourselves and our health journeys too.
Yes, I would say that at the beginning, we'll go into more detail of our story in the next podcast because we'll be on here forever talking about it. But pretty much, I was diagnosed with an imbalance of hormones and, like Cicely had said, was getting no information and no cause and effect from the actual doctors. So I had turned to a Western functional medicine doctor, and I thought that this was going to be kind of like a burden on my life, that I was going to have to change all of these things if I wanted it to be better. And that's how it started, as being a burden. And how was I going to do this? I thought there was no end. And one day, I'm going to share a little story on kind of how this podcast came to fruition and where I found my passion for health and wellness. It was in August of the past year. I was getting onto a plane and flying back to school to start my next semester. You know, Southwest flights, you log in 24 hours in advance and randomly get assigned a number. So I sit down next to this lady and we're about an hour into the flight and we start chit-chatting and she pretty much...
Also, Shayna never talks to people.
Oh,
so,
God,
this
no.
is not a common occurrence.
No, I sit down, throw those headphones in, pick up a book, listen to a podcast, and I am set in. I have never once, ever talked to the person sitting next to me on a plane. So this lady, I don't even remember how it happened, but she starts talking to me and asking me, you know, where I'm from, what I'm doing in college. She's like, give me a little bit of your life story. So I'm going on. She proceeds to tell me she had worked in corporate America for a while and then had turned to wanting to motivate women. So she became like a motivational coach for women to find themselves and be able to then advance in corporate America or whatever kind of their journey was. So I'm going on and I'm telling her, and she's intently listening about every part of my life of where I'm from and why I chose a business degree and the sorority that I'm in. And all of a sudden, because I had just gone to the doctor a couple days before, I had started talking about how I was on this new wellness journey and I was going to try to figure out how to eat gluten and dairy free and how to exercise differently. And at the end of my 5-minute tell me about yourself spiel, she goes, I saw you light up when you talked about your health and wellness journey. And that was the first time in my life I was like, wow, I can take this quote unquote burden that I have been given, and it's really become something that I'm passionate about. And it was so God speaking to me in that moment, being like, this is something that you can really pursue in your life. And so that's how I found my passion for it.
Yeah. And then we can jump to Christmas break. Literally was just in the shower one day, and Shayna and I talk all the time about like, we need to do something that helps people. We were like, do we do a cookbook? Do we do like all these different things we bounced around ideas of? And I was in the shower one day and maybe I was listening to a podcast, I don't know. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like Shayna and I should start a podcast. Like we talk about it, the two of us all the time. Like, I don't know why we wouldn't just like share it with others.
Yeah.
And so I literally got out of the shower, like dry off my hands, text Shayna, and I'm like, we should start a podcast.
And no questions asked. It was like immediately, we have to do this.
Yeah. And now here we are.
Exactly. Sicily, I'd say, was like the first person once I heard about all this health stuff that I could go to and she would understand. We would go through our blood works together. And every single time I had a call with my functional medicine doctor, I would explain everything to Sicily and she would do the same. And so we kind of were able to like find peace in knowing that the other one was going through something very similar.
Yeah. Yeah. A funny story. One of my favorite memories of most recently is I was literally driving to Trader Joe's and Shayna was already home. And you had just gone and seen your doctor.
Yep.
And she calls me and she's like, hey, do you have a minute? Like, I just want to tell you like everything I just learned from my doctor. And I literally sat in the Trader Joe's parking lot for like 30 minutes and we were just talking about everything she learned from her doctor's appointment. And it was so great because that's what we do all the time. And she shared with me things I didn't know. And then we talked about things that she knew I was already doing and we could start together. And so yeah, that's how we're now here. And we're now recording this first episode for you guys and so many more to come.
Exactly. And we'll probably have those conversations be now recorded.
Yeah.
Because why not have you guys listen in on it too? So that's kind of why this podcast started, but really where the name came from. We are so passionate about the name that we chose, Continuously Refined. And along with the technical difficulties we had, this was probably the second most hardest thing, was coming up with a name.
Yeah.
We wanted something that really defined everything that we want to put into this podcast. And so we came up with Continuously Refine. And how we came up with refine and that word was really just getting rid of these impurities or unwanted elements in our life and removing them, in the process of removing them, because that's pretty much what we're doing in our health journey.
Yeah,
we are
absolutely
eating clean and we're getting rid of these dirty things, and we have air purifiers in our room to purify the air.
Yep.
And all of these little things that we are doing, these processes that we're changing in our life, we're refining our life.
Yeah. And we're never done refining our life. And so we wanted to add the word continuously there because we're constantly removing something else from our life, adding something into our lives, making improvements. It's a constant way of living for us. And so we wanted to stress that, like, even though like we're sitting here talking about all the things we do, like we're never done making those changes. And just because we're doing something now that's working, it might not work in the future. Like we're constantly adapting to those changes and constantly refining our lives.
Exactly. So that is what you're listening to. You are listening to Continuously Refined, and some topics that we plan to go over as this podcast continues is everything from eating natural whole foods and what that could look like for you, different exercises based on your menstrual cycle, your goals that you have, overall lifestyle changes.
Yeah. And we want to stress that, like, we know that these lifestyle changes are hard, and like we're going to talk about that too. Like we're both in college, and like a lot of these lifestyle changes that we have to make aren't easy to make here, and especially the first 2 years in college, and still now, even living off campus, it's still a struggle for us. And so we try to eat clean, we try to sleep on a certain schedule or to do all these things, but we don't always achieve them. We fall short too. And so we ask for your guys' grace and all of that too, but also just we can't wait to share all of that with you and talk about the ups and downs of it all, because it definitely is a fluctuating cycle for sure.
We are just so excited to start this journey with y'all and kickstart it and get it going. We cannot stress enough. We are so passionate about this and so excited. We just wanted to thank you guys for listening to this first episode. We plan to release them every other Wednesday.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We're so excited, and we can't wait to talk to you guys again in a few weeks.
And continuously refine our lives together.
Bye.
Bye.